Hey everyone, it's Brendan with Tech Intel Security Training. I wanted to show you a new device that I got called the Rubber Ducky. The USB Rubber Ducky is a much loved hacking tool that was seen at DEF CON last year, and it is an amazing device. It is a USB flash drive that came with this booklet, this little easy to use booklet that has all definitions of everything that you'd want to know. The key terms, this is flipped backwards, so I apologize, but it definitely gives you all the key terms that you need to know about USB flash drive, hot plug attacks, things like that. That essentially you get this device, and it's pretty much looks like a flash drive, and it's really cool because you can plug it into any computer that you want, whether it's Mac or Windows. Doesn't matter. The machine will see it as a keyboard, and it'll actually trust it as if it were essentially a keyboard USB device. And as you can see, there's a USB-C connection, but there's also the USB regular USB connection that you could pretty much be using this for any type of attack that you can inject essentially a keystroke command as if you were a user on a keyboard. So what's cool about this is once you plug it into the computer, it actually sees it as a keyboard, so it creates that interface, and it'll just accept whatever keystroke that you program to put in this device. So I'm going to show you a few things here. This also came with one of these USB Rubber Ducky 2nd edition books by Darren Kitchen. And this is backwards, so I apologize, but you get the idea. Again, Darren Kitchen. This I got off Hack5, and I also got a Payload Studio Pro license, which is awesome, but you can also use that community edition for free, and I'll put the link to that in the description. So without further ado, I also wanted to say that Darren Kitchen said to the creator of the USB Rubber Ducky device, said about this that everything it types is trusted to the same degree as the user is trusted. Kitchen told The Verge. So it takes advantage of the trust model built in, and where computers have been taught to trust a human, and a computer knows that a human typically communicates with it through clicking and typing. So I thought that was really cool. So this was created 10 years ago, and it became a fan favorite by when it showed up on a scene on a famous TV show called Mr. Robot. So it comes with all of these awesome tools and all these awesome books that show you how to write in DuckyScript 3.0, which is a feature-rich language which lets users write functions, store functions, and use logic flow controls like if this, then that statements, and it can run a test to see what machine OS is running on a machine. If you plug it in, it'll see what OS is running on it, and it can accept or it could not accept. It could disconnect, and people might think it's just some simple flash drive and wouldn't even know what's going on. You can hide it in the background, which is super cool. But you could also use this to generate pseudo-random numbers to use and add variable delay between keystrokes for a more human effect. So this is perhaps the most what The Verge said. The Verge, it said, it can steal data from a target machine by encoding it in binary format and transmit it through signals meant to tell a keyboard when the caps lock or numlock LED should light up. With this method, an attacker could plug it in for a few seconds, tell someone, sorry, I guess that USB drive is broken, and take it back with all their passwords saved from like a browser, things like that. When people store credentials in a browser, this thing can grab all that and send it to a web server, which is super cool. So without further ado, let me show you a little bit about Payload Studio Pro and a little bit more about where you can find the payloads on this device. So here is the product on Hack5 website. Like I said, it is a hot plug device, and you can purchase the Elite bundle or the Pro bundle. I bought the Elite bundle, and it was a little up there in the price range, $120, but it's super worth it. You can also add these Payload Studio Pro license and the online course to learn advanced DuckyScript language stuff, and I'll put the link in the description in this video on YouTube and in my Facebook group if you want to purchase for yourself. So let us go to this GitHub repository here, which is a Hack 5 repository, and it's called USB Rubber Ducky Payloads. So we're going to read through, and like I said in my other videos, first go to the README just to kind of check it out. And it looks like this is the what they want people to do is to use Payload Studio to edit and compile their payloads, which I think is a great idea. You can also download the payloads off this GitHub repository if you like, and use this in other IDE environments. But I want to play more with this Payload Studio Pro since I have a license. They have all these cool places where you can get started. So you can go to their quick start guide. I'm just going to click on the quick start guide. And this takes you to the Hack 5 website, which is great. This is a really easy to use site that gets you to start looking at what's included in your purchase, things like that, and the top tips to get started, which is awesome. So the button and arming mode are your friend, and he is saying, or whoever wrote this is saying, that you can put it in arming mode, which is essentially when you set up the device, it puts it in arming mode. So there is a bin file that is on the root of the Ducky drive that sets it to arming mode. When you plug it in, it's going to tell the computer what to do next. And so we're just going to read through, you can kind of skim through this and read all about it and here, but I'll put this link in the description for you. And so when you're going through this, just kind of read through this and start playing with it. There's a lot of things to learn about this and how to use the squeeze to press button that you can put on this. There is a thing that came with this rubber ducky in the blue envelope that makes you put a sticker on that will essentially arm it so that you can squeeze it and then it will essentially deploy whatever it is that you want to deploy. But I haven't had it set up yet, but it shows you how to do it here and how to do place the stickers inside of the rubber ducky USB kind of casing there, and then it shows you how to reassemble it. I didn't do that yet, but I think that's a great design. And what I want to show you next is Payload Studio Pro. So what's cool is you log in with your credentials and the license that you got with it with your purchase, and then it's going to show you the menu bar, kind of what you can do, and it kind of just shows you all the links and the resources and everything to do with Payload Studio Pro. And I think it's great because this editor is really easy to use. It's very nice because it's everything that you'd want, and it gives you auto completion to your syntax, highlighting, and much more. And you can customize your experience in the settings, which is super cool. But yeah, it tells you after you're done writing your payloads to compile it by clicking this generate payload button, and you can put the device in other modes, or you can save your payload, things like that. And the Payload Studio will use this location to tell you important info. So this console kind of dot right here, this highlighted section is the console proper, and it's used for debugging and breakpoints, and it can be used to test parts of your payload. It's also convenient as a text editor, and your ability to edit, save, clear, and toggle open with ease, which is awesome. Here's the help button, and I think that's really great. They're really making it easy for people to get into learning how to program this USB rubber ducky flash drive and to do whatever you want to do. So without further ado, I think this was a great little start on showing you how Payload Studio works, and I'm probably going to show you a demo now on an actual live payload that I put on this rubber ducky. I hope you enjoy.